Hi Josh, thanks for joining me.
I felt.
Um, we've had periodic conversations over the last couple of years where I've asked you about generative AI and in a broad context, but also what it means for market research. And we've not had one for a while, but of course AI certainly hasn't slowed down. It's continued to advance at speed, and developments have got even quicker and many new capabilities and applications have been emerging. So I wanted to talk to you about two more recent developments, which have been creating quite a lot of buzz and sparking new interest and new developments among AI experts, and are starting to emerge, at least in a small way, in market research. One of which is AI agents, and the other, and an AI agents we are seeing a few companies in the market research space talking about AI agents and offering products with AI agents. So we're seeing that a little bit. The other one, which is probably even newer to people, and I suspect a lot of people maybe haven't even heard of it, is neurosymbolic AI. So let's start with that one. Can you give an explanation of what neurosymbolic AI is?
Sure. Yeah, so market researchers who are already familiar with dual process theory or the distinction between system one and system two thinking, they're already going to have a pretty intuitive understanding of neurosymbolic AI. Basically, neuro is the fast, intuitive system one type thinking, and then
Mm-hmm.
symbolic is the slower and more rigorously rational system two type thinking. So in artificial intelligence research for a long time, there's been an important distinction between a general problem solver and a specific problem solver. So
Mm-hmm.
neurosymbolic general intelligence is sort of the holy grail of artificial intelligence research. After all, you can think of human intelligence at its best. It's applying intuition and reason sort of as opponent processes, contributing and balancing each other. So
Yeah.
neurosymbolic AI at its best would be kind of a general problem solver, but we're not quite there yet. So it can also still be applied in specific use cases through intentional design. And there are a lot of differing ideas about how neurosymbolic AI can and should be realized. And it'll
Mm-hmm.
probably be a combination of all these ideas out there and perhaps more. So
Mm-hmm.
some very prominent researchers think that maybe it's just more compute. So similar to how GPT and large language models really shocked everyone in terms of their capabilities, mostly as a function of how much compute and how much sort of parameter space there was. So
Yeah.
some researchers think that maybe just by increasing that, we're sort of going to automatically get that neurosymbolic type thinking. And basically the hypothesis is that the neural networks or the large language models will automatically sort of have subnetworks within them, which is kind of doing the rational thinking.
Mm-hmm.
There's other ideas at play as well. So there's things like knowledge graphs, and then there's also
Okay.
things like reflection or planning, and that's very much related to agentic AI.
Okay. So when you say knowledge graphs, what do you mean?
Yeah, so knowledge graphs, you can imagine sort of a network of data points. If you've ever seen like visualizations of Facebook or other social media, something like that. And really
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing is you're just creating structural representation of how different things that you're interested in relate to each other.
Right. Okay. And agents, yeah, do want to ask you about agents, but we'll come back to that one later if that's okay. Let's yeah, just to ask you a bit more about symbolic AI. Given what you just said there, am I right that large language models can't really be thought of as symbolic AI? And if I am right, why is that?
Yeah, so that is right, at least debatably right. And that's because large language models are a type of neural network. So they're just one part of the equation, the system one. But it's not just a matter of adding some rules to large language models. So just like in human cognition, there's a continuity between system one type thinking and system two type thinking. Sometimes
Yeah.
it makes sense to use one or the other, but usually it's about finding the right balance between the two and having them both work together.